Hello, 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 and welcome into Iron Sharpens Iron by Bear Claw Media and brought to you by Top Notch Plumbing. Most home problems don't shout, they whisper. The tiny drip, the almost warm furnace, the slow drain. Ignoring it costs more later. Top Notch Plumbing turns all get it into handled. Grassroots Greeley team, 6-time best plumber. Full service plumbing, HVAC, and drain cleaning. Book the fix at topnotchplumbingllc.com. As always, I am joined today by Zach, Bloch, Quinn Denker. Fellas, how we doing?
It's a great day to be great, man.
Super blessed, man.
Hell yeah, once again, thank you for joining me here this morning, fellas. Little inside baseball, got just about an hour or two before you guys jet off up to Air Force. When did you get home? Sunday night from Portland?
Yeah, Sunday night. We got home at like 12:30.
12:31. Yeah,
like
it was late.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that period of like the non-con where nothing really makes sense and like the days don't matter.
100%. Your sleep schedule's all screwed up.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun because we had so much time after the game, so we stayed and watched St. Thomas play Portland.
Okay.
So we watched that final game, which was nice because it was like that tournament was like just great Division I basketball. Like it was just so much fun to watch and play.
Okay, yeah, that's perfect. Let's get into that. I hate to start there, but it was the beginning. 73-72 loss to St. Thomas. Mm-hmm. You hit a veteran move. Like the thing that I think I take away the most from that is that should have been an awesome moment for you, kind of, just sticking that leg out a little bit on that three, drawing the foul to go ahead with two. Maybe you see it a little different than me, just maybe looking at that replay. Seemed like a heady veteran play.
No, I think you're pretty good comment.
Did you sell that one?
For sure.
But it was sick. It was like perfect moment, like 2 seconds left. You think even if you knock down one, you're looking like you're in pretty good shape. 3/4 court heave. They just bank it in. Really, for me, it took me back to the Idaho game last year, just way worse even. But what was kind of the immediate aftermath of that game?
We're definitely going to get into it during the Splash Disciples segment a little bit. But I think just immediately, like basketball thoughts, I looked at Zach and I was just like, what in the world? There's nothing you could do but just kind of like laugh. Yeah. Like I was kind of just in like a euphoric state. I'm like, all right, what in the world just happened again?
Yeah. I think for me, I've felt this feeling so many times now in college. Raekwon battle from half court.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah. Idaho, Colton Mitchell. And I think there was another one. There had to have been another one. I feel like I've been through this so many times. It was just kind of another one of those moments where it honestly stings for a while because you're like, dang, like if we could just have this one play back, but you kind of just have to change your mindset to, after, we'll talk about it later, but after it was immediately I'm thinking, okay, that's what God wanted. Like, what can we learn from it? You know what I'm saying? And Coach Reed was saying the same thing. And because sometimes you can learn from winning, but sometimes you need to lose in order to learn. For sure.
Okay.
So I think we took a lot from that, and our response from that game was, super important as a team and chemistry-wise and just seeing what kind of fight that this team had.
Okay.
Yeah. I think another thing, too, is, like Zach said, great point. Like, you can learn a lot from, you can learn a little bit from winning, but you can also get really complacent from winning, especially with a tournament style like that. Like, since we lost, we're like, okay, we lost, but we had zero time to dwell in it because an hour later, we're sitting in our film room again watching film for Portland. And it's like, that's just how it was. Like, that's the way the tournament. Honestly, I thought that was a beautiful thing.
100%.
It takes your brain off it right away, and now you can just move on to the next one. But by losing that game, it helped point us. It showed us where we were flawed, which is there are several moments. Like, we had 1 million turnovers in that game. We really didn't shoot that well. Like, we had some foul trouble. We didn't execute certain things right, and we still probably should have won. We were one shot away from winning the game against a team who was going to win the Summit League. It's a really good basketball team. A bunch of really good dudes, good players. And we were one full court heave away, and yet we still made so many mistakes. Since basketball's a game of margins, like there were so many possessions that we just didn't complete, and that we almost didn't deserve to win that game, and yet probably still should have.
Is that the toughest, like, what's the worst basketball loss? Maybe take it how you want. I'm thinking more like just brutal in the moment, not necessarily like the stakes on the line. But was that just like the most gut-checking loss that you guys have had in your basketball lives, maybe?
Not for me.
Honestly, not even close.
Idaho hurt a lot worse for me. If I'm being honest, that Idaho one hurt. The Raekwon battle one hurt.
Because Bodie Hume just hit like a corner three.
Yeah, he just hit a game winner, and then
same situation. Yeah,
half court hits it, and I think that was an important game for seeding, I believe, too.
Okay.
So I mean, this one kind of meant less in terms of the season. I don't know. I don't think it was my most gut-wrenching one.
Honestly, I think it was more gut-wrenching for everybody that was watching. Like, I remember I got a million text messages and people that was just kind of like, dude, I'm so sorry. I was just kind of like, dude, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, maybe that's because our like mindsets and perspectives have changed a lot over since in the past.
Mm-hmm.
That could be it. You know, who knows? Maybe 4 years ago, this would have been gut-wrenching. I would have been just distraught for 3 days, but it is what it is. It's what God intended.
Yeah. That did, like, I was speechless trying to, like, come up with something to say on the radio after that. But it was just, like, sometimes you just got to tip your hat.
100%.
Like,
Kid had a great game.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Nolan had a great game. Threw in a three-quarter court one shot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he had scored 20 in every single game this season, and he was at 17 ahead of that heave. And, of course, he got him to 20.
It was funny.
But how do you think you guys responded after that one? Come out against a tough Portland team, and similar game flow to kind of a few, similar to like the Pepperdine game, gain a lead there in the second half, and then it just kind of whittles down by the end, but able to regroup in overtime and come away with the win. How do you guys think you kind of regroup from that St. Thomas game into that one?
I honestly thought our leadership did a good job of not carrying St. Thomas's woes into the next game. Like, I thought showing it like an hour or two later, it was kind of something that we were just kind of like, wow, that just happened. Well, it doesn't really matter anymore because we're playing Vince's old team tomorrow. And so I think everyone's focus was kind of just entirely on Portland. So it was almost like a new day, new game. Like, that was a thing of the past, and we were all excited about it. And I was honestly really proud of our team for that. Because I think we approached it in a super mature way, and we were just there to play basketball. But again, with Portland, like, there were still a bunch of mistakes and stuff that we had to clean up, and that was kind of the, I guess the theme of the tournament is there were so many mistakes and things that we did, yet we came out of it 2-1. Probably should have been 3-0, but like that's just we think we have huge upside, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, I think another big thing that we learned about our team is just the composure that we have. We could be up 7 and they could take the lead with 4 minutes left, and we're just out there playing basketball. Like, it's just the next possession. It's, we're not worried about making mistakes here and there. Like, when we do make mistakes, like, we always come back from them. You know what I'm saying? We're on to the next possession, and we don't get shook when it gets tough down the stretch. We've had 2 overtime wins now, and I just think that shows our composure and our fight as a team that we have, and the winning that we have on our team. It translates to the games, and I think that, like Quinn was saying, we're having little mistakes just add up over the game, like turnovers, a missed layup that could extend our lead and make a huge run, because we're getting to this point where we're up like 10, 11, and we just can't get over that hump right now, because then we just make a mistake like that and then it switches the momentum. So I think that once we tighten up a little bit more and get more comfortable, I think that we're going to see an even better Bears team. So
okay, I'm glad you brought that up, because I had that a less nuanced thought on that like situation where we've seen in like little pockets. I think there was like a 2-minute stretch in that Portland game where it went on like a 12-0 run or something, just knocking down threes. Something similar in Fullerton where a run in that second half. But it doesn't feel like we've seen anywhere near the full potential of this team, especially offensively, for any sort of like sustained period. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like that's also the thought, like within the locker room, is kind of once we can clean some of these little things up.
Mm-hmm. Well, and see then, and that's what's crazy is like you just said, St. Thomas, we scored 72 points. Against Fullerton, we scored almost 100. So, like, if you still haven't seen our best offensive punch and we're still almost scoring 80 to 90 to 100 points, like, that's why I think we have a huge upside as long as because the thing is we know exactly what we have to fix. It's just a matter of us being mature enough to go do it all the time. Mm-hmm. Like, there are a bunch of little things that, like Zach was saying, that compound that towards winning. So,
mm-hmm. And Smiley talked about it yesterday, saying that we're at a point where we can grow, get even better, or we're at a point where we can start dipping. And so that's where our approach has to be correct. We have to approach every single day like we're trying to get better. We haven't made it. Like, we've never arrived.
Yeah.
We can always get better.
For sure.
And this is a critical point for us.
How much nicer is it? This is probably a stupid question, but how much nicer is it to still see that ability to grow when you're sitting at 5-1 instead of maybe 3-2, 2-3?
It's a blessing to have
100% a blessing
to be in this position. Position.
Because I don't think we, like me and Zach talking, I don't think we really feel like. That's why I'm not really like tripping about the St. Thomas thing. Because obviously it's one game, but it almost feels like it's deserved sometimes. Just because I don't really feel like I've played the best I can play. I don't feel like any of us have played the best we could possibly play. I don't feel like the team has played the best, and we're 5-1. It's an absolute blessing.
And with that, we're very spoiled, like getting to call these games and watch these games at home, because I think, you said it perfect. Like, it just feels like it's nowhere near the ceiling.
Yeah.
But then kind of moving forward to that Cal State Fullerton game, it felt same kind of thing. It didn't feel like anything was super clicking, going really well, but then you look up and it's 97 points at the end. I guess the most interesting thing to me about that game is you came out wearing number 30, and it threw me off for like the whole first half of the first half. What was the story behind that?
30 with 30.
Literally, a career high in number 30.
Well, so we were in the meeting room eating our pregame meal with all of our jerseys laid out and everything, and I'm looking for my jersey, and it's just not there. So I'm like, okay, what do you want me to do? I'm about to put on Dixie Owens' jersey or Kaden Erickson's jersey. I'm like, I don't really want to like rock someone else's last name like that. So I'm like, can I just get the blood jersey? The blood jersey was number 30.
That's what this guy was, right?
Is that a blood jersey or is that Hume's?
I think that might be Hume's.
Okay.
So I just put on the blood jersey for the game. And another thing that happened too was the refs made us all take off our undershirts.
Oh, so annoying.
So we were everybody who usually wears an undershirt is now bare under their jersey, and just because you can't wear a white under a gold jersey, and we tried it, and they weren't going for that. But all my teammates were like, "Oh, you're gonna be like Steph Curry tonight," blah blah blah. Like, and our trainer's showing me her text with her husband, and her husband's like, "Oh, I'm calling it now. Like, he's gonna have a Steph Curry game. He's wearing the jersey." And it just,
7 threes later.
Yeah, don't stop there. You then had the Steph Curry game. 32 points, I think, was it? 7 at 12 from deep?
Hey, all I know is that whole run you were talking about in Fullerton was that. Like, every time I got the rebound or, like, I got an outlet pass, I was just trying to find Zach. I was like, okay, where is he? Is there a sliver of space wide open? Kick it to that guy.
I think that the first 2 games, it was kind of a blessing in a way that I was in foul trouble the first 2 halves of the game,
for sure,
of the games. And I think it was able to save my legs a little bit for that last game because Quinn's putting the team on his back, having 29 points, 25 points. And then, someone else needed to step up, and the Lord used me in that way. And I think it was a blessing that I had more energy that game because it's an 11 o'clock game. I never play good in the morning. I'm thinking that, honestly. Dude, I never play good in the morning. It's like I'm half delirious because I can't sleep, especially if a game before, the day before.
Yeah.
So I can't sleep. So, I wake up and I'm like, just like delirious.
Just delirious. Yeah. Me and him have a joke about like certain hours of the day. Like anything past 11:30 p.m. with Zach is just it's delirious hour. He doesn't remember a thing. But to his point too, and to what we were talking about earlier, like another thing that we need to improve on is me and Zach haven't been in a game yet where one of us isn't in foul trouble, other than like Colorado.
It's
College
been
or
me.
something.
It's usually been me.
Well, I mean, in Fullerton, it was me.
Which is interesting because coming into the season, like you're the one that everybody kind of gives shit about fouling.
Yeah.
Or I guess you and Brock really, but which we saw. I guess we did see that in Fullerton. I could have swore you had 6 fouls in that game. I thought they gave you your 4th twice because there was like one in the second half where you subbed out.
Yeah.
And I just kept waiting for the little 3 to change to a 4, and it never did. And I was like, oh.
Well, I think Smiley pulled me for a little bit just to make sure I didn't get one, and he was like, "You're going right back in. Don't worry about it." And then, but yeah, no, that Fullerton game was weird because I swear, like everybody had 4 fouls.
Yeah.
I didn't really know what to do.
I mean, when we're playing those dudes that just go downhill, put their head down, and like just get into you and throw something up, and honestly, I thought we were standing there like this, but
trust me too.
There was one play, bro. This is the most unreal thing. I'm yelling. Me and Zach are like, just build walls, build walls. This kid's coming down full speed, and we're both hands straight up in the air. And the dude runs into my chest and swings the ball up and hits me in the face with the ball.
I remember that one.
And I got the foul call. And I was like, dude, he just hit me in the face with the ball. Like, there's literally nothing I could do. And on that last flagrant, too, I was just like...
Yeah, I thought so we were watching... there was no broadcast. It was just on the Portland YouTube. Which, shout out to them. I was terrified that was going to like crash.
Oh, is that what it was? It wasn't like YouTube TV?
No, it was just on the Portland Pilots YouTube.
Oh, that's crazy.
And it honestly worked better than ESPN Plus does half the time. So shout out the Pilots. But
sweet.
Shout
out the Pilots.
No audio. We're trying to like everybody just goes to the sides after that foul, and I was like, oh, I bet like Smiley challenged that one to try because it was that your 4th or was that your 5th?
That was my 5th.
Yeah, I was like, I bet Smiley challenged it to try to keep Quinn in the game, and we like get to talking. They come out and he's like at the free throw line shooting the flagrant, and I get like the the elbows, they're overly cautious, but it just felt
it's a new rule, and my whole thing that I just get frustrated with is like I know the whole thing is like it's usually the second guy who gets caught, but it's like, dude, you're right there. I'm getting double teamed. I get punched in the face, and in me trying to protect myself after getting punched in the face, I accidentally nick somebody with my elbow. Like I didn't even hit the guy hard. So, but it is what it is. Like that's like that's a major emphasis for refs with like the new rule changes. Like there's like I accidentally got hit in the balls in the St. Thomas game, and like and that's a new emphasis also Like I just got hit in the balls on accident. Like he didn't try to hit me in the balls, but they're going to the monitor and reviewing it for 5 minutes. And I'm telling dude during the game, I'm like, bro, I know you didn't try to hit me in the balls. Like I don't know why they're reviewing this for 5 minutes. But that's another one. We had like 4 different. Like Egan had one, Brock had one where he ran into a kid on accident.
Yeah,
and we're reviewing that for a flagrant. Egan, all he did was go up, lift his arms up to try to go get a rebound, accidentally nicked a guy with his elbow. So that like elbows are kind of just like a certain focal point. So as soon as I hit him, I was kind of like, oh shoot, like I knew that probably was going to get reviewed or anything, and obviously I didn't mean to. I was trying to protect myself, but that's how it goes.
Yeah. They've really in the last like 10 years or so, I feel like they've completely changed the rules around like swinging elbows. Because I remember in high school, like Coach Houston Reed would come down to like our high school, and he would
100%.
Elbows out, like 2 hands, like pivot, and that was I remember my first ever.
If he's too close, nick him.
Yeah, exactly. My first ever high school game as a freshman, I did that. I turn and just pop somebody like and it was just play on. Like
play on. You were too close. You were in my cylinder.
Exactly,
literally. Cylinder foul.
Yeah. But that makes sense because that also when you got hit in the balls and they reviewed it, I was like, again, a little confused in what's happening, not being in the arena. And I was like, oh, that's nice. They're giving him some time to kind of recoup. So didn't have to sub out.
That was great. They gave me time to do my little bounces.
I was like, pull up. You got to pull up on something.
Yeah.
It's also crazy because the technicals they're like locking down on too.
Yeah.
Like they're
It
you
wasn't
say
even our
anything
games.
at all. Yeah, we were watching St. Thomas game, 2 techs. There was a tech. The bench got a tech on St. Thomas when we were watching the game, the first game they were playing.
Oh, it was the game against Fullerton, because Fullerton got 2 bench techs, St. Thomas got 1, and then St. Thomas's players got like 2.
Yeah, and Portland got like 2.
The game we were watching against Portland.
Yeah. It's you can't say anything. You can't look at anybody crazy. Like a ref looked at me and yelled. He actually yelled. Did you remember when the ref yelled at me? He said, "Are you seriously complaining?"
Yeah. And I ran straight to the ref and I was like, "Don't worry, I got him. Don't worry."
And then he tries to talk to me after. I'm like, dude, like so this is what happened. So I boxed out one of their bigs on a rebound, and it was probably a foul, and they didn't call it. Whatever. So we come down, and the next possession, they're just hunting to call a foul on me because they didn't call the one before, so now they're trying to make a makeup call. And I blow up a handoff.
Which he actually said verbatim, too.
Yeah. And I try to blow up a handoff, got all ball, clearly not a foul. He calls a foul on me to make up for the other one. And I just don't agree with that. I think you missed the call. You missed the call. Don't punish me the next time down when I make a good play. But, And then he goes off. I just go like, what? And then he goes off and he's like, are you seriously complaining?
Yeah. It is what it is.
Yeah. That's something you see all the time is the makeup call.
I don't like it.
Do they just admit that very often? You said he was basically just verbatim said that's what happened.
No, I mean, like, they normally don't. Like, it's kind of an unwritten rule. Like, if you don't ever admit that it's a makeup call. Like, it's just kind of a thing. You just referee the game. Like, normally in a call, like, you missed a call and a guy rebound, that's your fault, whatever it is, it's fine.
Yeah, my bad, I missed it.
Like, my bad, I missed it. That's what you say to the other team's coach. Like, it's not a big deal at all. Like, refs are human. They're going to miss calls. They're going to make calls. That one was just weird because Shante, their coach, Portland's coach, was like, thanks for the makeup call. And he was like, you're welcome. And I was like, what in the world? Like, that's weird. Like, as I was running over to tell him, like, hey, I'll calm Zach down. And he tells him, says you're welcome. And then I just kind of went over to the ref and I was like, hey, I got him. Don't worry about it. And he goes, thank you, because I'm going to tee him up. Like, I'm going to do it. And I was like, okay, don't worry.
Especially now, like, knowing you a little bit, if I saw you get teed up in a game, I'd be like,
literally.
What?
Yeah. I mean, I do need to work on my body language. I think that I didn't have great body language with the refs this weekend. Mostly because I was just tired of being in foul trouble, and a lot of it was my fault, and I was fouling people. So I think that I'm going to work on that going forward. Just accept what the call is. I can't change it, and especially in that Fullerton game when it's foul after foul after foul, we're all going like this.
Yeah.
So I think
every team, both teams, are just going back and forth, just like what?
Yeah. So I think we need to tighten down on that.
It did feel in that Fullerton game like it was all the calls were on UNC, and then somewhere along I think Ibu ended up going to the line like 3 or 4 straight times, and then it did feel like they were calling it even. It was just crazy how tight they were calling it. It felt like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. It just was crazy because I remember I looked up at the thing with 7 minutes left in the game. Both teams were in double bonus.
After neither reached even bonus in the first half, I don't think. Or maybe
we might have gotten to it with a minute left.
Yeah.
But they weren't. But then second half, all of a sudden, I swear both teams had 20 fouls. It was nuts.
Yeah.
But hey, they were consistent. So.
Yeah. Hey, overcame.
Yeah.
Adapted, improvised, whatever.
And that's the theme of our team. 100%. We adapt and overcome.
So another thing I noticed at that Portland MT, I guess why do they have the NBA 3-point line there? And then how does that kind of throw you off, just that added visual of that second line?
Isn't it the Trailblazers sometimes practice there or sometimes do something
like that? I know they use their facilities for a bunch of different things. Like their soccer field that's right next to the gym gets used for a lot of professional teams. Like the Portland Timbers will practice there sometimes, or they use they do USA training camps there. I want to say that's also why they use the Portland basketball gym, because it's a nice arena. I loved the arena. I thought it was cool. But It was a little weird visually.
Yeah, especially because the NBA line is the dark line and the white line is the college
That's what
line.
threw me off.
Yeah, because we're always used to no gym is like that.
No.
Every court, our 3-point line is the darker line.
Yeah.
I don't think I put that fully together, but it did just seem different than even other courts.
100%.
Does that just because you think muscle memory kind of takes you to the same places, but that's
100%.
also the muscle memory is like you're seeing where you're going too.
Well, our muscle memory is find the line and get behind it. So normally you look for the darker line because that's how it is on our court.
Mm-hmm.
Find the darker line, get behind it, and it's 3 points. So it was a little weird because I remember when I was watching film back, I didn't realize how many guys on both teams, except for Portland, of course, but both teams, St. Thomas, us, Fullerton, everyone's shooting NBA threes.
Yeah.
And I remember there was even one against Fullerton where I tried to overcompensate and it ended up being a 2.
I remember that one. Yeah.
Was that on the right wing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to overcompensate for a little bit, and because Smiley kept yelling every single time, "If you're shooting NBA threes, that's losing." and so I'm like, okay, yeah, no, you're right. So first 3 come up, it's a 2-pointer. I'm like, gosh dang it, I'll just shoot the deep ones.
Yeah, I'll just try to find the corner because that you can't
the
mess
corner's
up
the
the
same.
corner.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
22 feet. Yeah.
So now that there's a few 6 games under your belts, move Eric to the bench, Ring kind of slid in to that last starting spot. How do you think the team's starting to gel? We talked about not at that ceiling yet, but do we feel like we're getting closer every game?
Too early to tell. I think just like our team is just continuing to grow and improve. I think, Portland is really big. Like their 3-man was like 6'10", so I think that was part of the reason. But I think as far as our team goes, it was just we're all starting to play. We're all like beginning to understand what things we need to improve on and change. And so it's only up from here.
Playing 3 games in 3 days. Portland was enormous. Fullerton looked a little bit smaller, just quick, unrelenting. How has it helped getting a taste of like 3 different good teams in 3 days this early in the season?
It's great. It's a great opportunity for us to learn, and it's hard with those quick turnarounds because you don't have much time to prepare. But I think the way that our schedule, the teams that we played in the order in which we played them was actually pretty good order. Yeah. St. Thomas, you need to prepare a lot for them because they run so much good stuff, and they're really hard to guard.
And their culture's great.
Yeah.
Like, you got to prepare for that.
Yeah. And then the last game being Fullerton, who doesn't run they run like 2 plays. And so most of that game is just about personnel. Like, is this player a driver, a player a sniper, and am I helping off of him? Like that sort of thing. And then just getting back on defense because they treat makes like misses and they just get it out and go and just get downhill. So I think having that be the last game and the least amount of time to prepare was a blessing for us, just because they don't run anything. So.
Okay.
Yeah, I think too, like even throwing Air Force into the mix, the last 4 games and it being, played 3 games and you're playing 4 games in 6 days, it's each look is so strange that we're getting to see everything before we go into league, which is going to be awesome because. St. Thomas, they run a bunch of different ghost action. They play really similar to us offensively and just always keeping the ball hot, a lot of dribble downs, really good on foul pressure. They ghost everything. They're really good passers, got a shooting big. Then you got to rotate over to Portland, who's just massive, right? They're just going to smash it in. They're all about crashing the glass. They kind of play like old-fashioned Eastern Washington because he is the old Eastern Washington coach. So they're running that Eagle stuff, the staggers, post-ups, a lot of screening action. But then you're going against Fullerton, who doesn't run a play. And there's a possession against St. Thomas where St. Thomas scored and they got the ball out under the basket and drew a foul in 2 seconds. Like there's 28 on the shot clock. Like they're the fastest playing team in the country. Mm-hmm. And so you're playing 3 totally different teams. Now we're about to go play the slowest team in the country who can shoot the lights out of the basketball. They were obviously run a bunch of different sets, bunch of checks and cuts. And that's Air Force. Everyone knows Air Force and how they run their Princeton offense and stuff, and they're really good at it and sound, and they can really shoot. So we're seeing a bunch of different looks in these last 4 games. So it's really testing us mentally, and it's a good challenge. We're excited for it, and it's preparing us.
How are you guys feeling physically? Because you talked about being able to the foul trouble actually keeping your legs fresh for that last game. Mm-hmm. You were kind of the exact opposite. I think going into that Fullerton game, you were 13th in the country in percentage of team minutes played.
Oh wow!
Just shout out Ken Palm.
Yeah.
So how are you guys feeling with another quick turnaround to Air Force at, like you said, 4 games in 6 days?
Feel good.
Feel great. I'm blessed.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we have the greatest athletic trainer in the country. Shout out Maddie Ford. She gets us correct. We have an awesome weight training coach in Coach Payne Kessler. Got us right in the last 2 days. So, and we are, shout out Chili Thai for getting my stomach correct.
There you go.
So, and Oak and Maple Waffles, shout out Matt Estrin for getting my stomach correct as well. So, yeah, I mean, hey, I feel revitalized and ready to rock.
Yeah.
All right. One more shout out, Top Notch Plumbing. 12 minutes. That's how fast this elite can become a big mess. Call the crew Greeley Trust. Top Notch Plumbing. Awarded Best Plumber 6 years in a row. Plumbing, HVAC, drain cleaning. Top Notch Plumbing, LLC.com. And you guys talked about earlier the response to that St. Thomas game. Wanted to get into it in the Splash Disciples segment, so I'll pass it over to you guys. What do you have for us here today?
So we, obviously make 2 free throws. I missed one of them. Then Minnesale, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but good player. Catches the pass, 3/4 court, shoots it, and I swear, I just got flashbacks of Idaho when we played Idaho, and because that was on me too. Colton hits the crazy shot, I tipped the ball, and I'm thinking, air ball swish, and I saw Nolan let it go, and I was just like, oh, that looks good. That looks good. And then sure as heck it banked in, and I remember I was just in utter disbelief. I looked at Zach, and we were just kind of laughed at each other. We were like, man, what do we even do in this moment? And so we went over to go shake hands, and then Zach just grabs me and tells me, he's like, it's what God intended. And that could not be more true. Although sometimes it's going to go our way, sometimes it's not. We don't understand why in the moment, but we will understand later. Mm-hmm. There's always a positive and something to take from a learning experience, like we've already talked about in this in terms of basketball. There were so many little mistakes that we made in that game that compounded and that we needed to learn from. Maybe we wouldn't have learned if we had just won the game and moved on from it. Mm-hmm. But from a faith perspective, the importance of losing that game, that gut-wrenching shot going in, and then having to respond an hour later and watch film, there's only one thing that really can help our mindsets, and that's joy. It's a fruit of the Spirit, like we've talked about before, like Zach talked about last time with fruit of the spirits. And it's so important to have joy in what you're doing, because in the highs and in the lows, if you love what you're doing, you're always going to be okay. If we were just, truly just riding waves of highs and lows and only cared about outcomes and whatever it was, and didn't just love basketball for basketball, then we'd be disrespecting the game. We'd be disrespecting ourselves. We'd be disrespecting Northern Colorado. We'd be disrespecting Vince, right? Because we're about to go play his former team 24 hours later. And so, or less than 24 hours later. And so it's so important that, to have this mindset of, we just love playing basketball. How could you not? We were talking about from the very beginning, that was such a fun tournament to play in for 3 days. Awesome. Portland did an incredible job. Great people in Portland. It was, all the fans were there rocking. It was a lot of fun. The pregame playlist was,
oh my gosh, most fire pregame playlist
of all time. Of all time.
So fire.
It encouraged us to change ours. So you'll be seeing shout out Portland, the Pilots, for real. You guys changed our pregame playlist because it was so good. And I remember first game, before, we played St. Thomas, and before the game, I'm at half court just kind of messing around, and they have this kid named Oosterbahn on their team, and me and him were both singing like the same song, and it was just like the funniest thing because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. Like we're all playing basketball, we're all just dudes out there having a really good time. Like wins and losses are what they are, but you gotta love what you're doing.
Yeah, I think in those situations, like the immediate thing that I thought was like, go up to Quinn, Coach Reed, and I'm like, it's what God wanted to happen. That's how God wanted it to happen, right? And how can we have joy and gratitude in those moments when, things don't go your way? And like Quinn was saying, riding those highs and lows, if you took me and Quinn back 3 years and that same moment happened, I don't know how well we would be able to turn around, right? But him making that shot, does that change anything about us? Does that change anything about our team, who we are, what we even did in the game? Does that change anything? It doesn't. It doesn't change who we are. It doesn't change our hearts. It doesn't change, our identities, right? Because they're rooted in Christ. They're rooted in what he says we are. And I think that when you have that perspective, it keeps you from riding those highs and lows and allows you to have joy in those moments because the kid made a shot. That doesn't change us, right? It doesn't change our team. And so how can we just approach the next day, the next moment, with a joy, with a gratitude that, we lost that game, but now we have another opportunity, right? And I think having those quick turnarounds was a blessing because you don't sit and, think about, you don't have time to think about it, right? But even if we didn't, like, where's our heart posture at? Like, what are we taking from that? Are we able to stay, trust God? That's what he wanted to have happen, right? Okay, I believe that he has the best plan for us, better plan than we even have for ourselves, right? He knows what we need, what's best for us. So I think when you're able to switch your mindset to that and just trusting God, allow him to give you joy because his joy is our strength, right? I think we're just going to have a blessed year if we continue to do that day in, day out because Coach Green said it the other day, something's going to go sideways at some point in the season, right? That was a moment. We're going to have other moments where things don't go our way. How are we able to weather that storm, right? How are we able to see the good in every situation and just be joyful and thankful for every single opportunity?
I also think, too, like he touched on it, that easily could have turned into 3 losses.
Mm-hmm.
Like us 3 years ago, you lose that game, everyone could have been stressed out. Everyone could have been, we can't let that happen again. Obviously we went to an overtime game against Portland. Like, that easily could have turned sideways. Even the end of Fullerton easily could have turned sideways. Those easily could have been 3 losses in a row. But I think it was because of what Zach was saying, our mindset, our mature approach, our approach of just like having fun, like joy. We responded from it immediately, didn't let it compound on each other, and we were just and that came from our leadership and everyone's perspective of just like, we're here to have fun, we're here to play basketball, we're here to show you exactly what we can do. And so that's why I think even when we inevitably will hit a hard moment, we're not going to let moment turn into moments. Like we're not going to just let another 3-game, 4-game stretch go. Like we're just going to continue to treat every single day, good or bad, like it is, like a day, and another day to improve, get better, and live for God. And that's kind of our mindset.
I think last thing, I think that it also starts with Coach Smiley. Like that's the first thing he said when he came into the locker room was, "Hey, look, that sucks, but we got to move on. We got a quick turnaround." I think that's a testament to who he is as a person, his growth as a coach. Like you probably asked him the same thing 3 years ago. How's his response? He's grown so much. I've seen him grow as a coach and as a leader over the years, and he's such a great coach. He's such a great dude, and that carries over to our team. But it starts with him at the top.
100%.
Okay, this might be actually kind of contrary to what you guys are saying, but is there a level of you do still kind of like you are always going to be riding those ups and downs, so you kind of have to find joy in both the highs and the lows? Mm-hmm. I asked because driving back from Fort Collins after calling that game, I give Marcy a call, and she's like, "How'd it go?" And I was like, "It was heartbreaking." But it's also the kind of loss that makes me appreciate being like a sports fan. You know, like, is there a level of, like, you still find joy in those hardest moments for you guys?
100%. And that's all it is that we're talking about. 100% to a T. You got to find joy in everything. Like, learning, in order to learn, like, you know, if you experience success, you learn from the success. You keep trying to repeat what you did when you succeeded. When you fail, it's just a learning opportunity. You change what you failed at, and then you just try to succeed. So everything is an opportunity for learning, and everything's an opportunity for joy. You can find joy in anything. You can find joy in everything. Like, that's kind of the gist of it. Yeah.
And then was the phrase you used heart posture?
Mm-hmm.
Is that, I think that feels like that encapsulates kind of a lot of what we've talked about during this segment. But what does heart posture mean to you guys?
I mean, to me, it's the reason why you're doing things. So if your heart posture is with the Lord and everything that you do is for the Lord and with the Lord, that's where I try to live in, right? Because we can always, our heart posture can be, you know, we're just caring about ourselves. We're prideful. Like, all we care about is how our stats look, how we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just where your heart, like, where's your heart at? Like, where's your heart posture? You know what I'm saying? I look at myself, for example. My heart posture throughout the years has not been where I wanted it to be. And that leads me to searching for different outlets, searching for things to make me feel better when the lows come, and riding these really high highs and like these really low lows, right? And I think when you're doing things for the Lord, it's not about yourself anymore. And so when things don't go your way, you're still going to be okay because God's got you. You trust in His plan, and it's just not all about you, right? This kid who made the shot, like, that was a great moment for him. Like, as a human being who loves other people, like, I'm happy for him that he got that moment, right? And I think there's always a shift in perspective that you can have, that you can be happy for somebody else who's had a great moment, even when it's hard, because it's not about you, right? Life isn't about you.
I also think that's why this team's going to be special, is our heart posture's in the right place with every single dude on the team. There's not a single dude on it, and this is the first team I've ever been on where every single dude on the team, there's not one person who doesn't care about a stat. Like, no one on our team actually cares about how many points they average, what their shooting percentages are, how many assists, steals, rebounds, whatever it is. No one cares. And that's why our team is going to be dangerous. And I'm really excited about it, just because it's fun. Like, every day you show up, and everyone's, you know, super hyped for everyone on an everyday basis, and it's great.
Yeah, 100%.
That's awesome to hear, both as just on a human level and as a fan of this team. So I love to hear that. I love this segment every week, guys. So thank you again for bringing this to the table. And as always, that'll do it here for us. We are Iron Sharpens Iron. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your mom to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Shout out the moms, yeah.
The untapped market, where we really got to tap into the mom market.
Yeah, it's real.
All right. Any closing thoughts, fellas?
It's a great day to be great.
Yeah.
Have a good one.